It's a word we all use, but have you ever stopped to wonder what exactly is a psychopath? In this series, we set out to answer that question, to reveal why they are so dangerous, explore why some may become serial killers, genocidal dictators, or ruthless corporate tyrants. They all have something in common. They have a severe personality disorder. It can't be cured, but it can be understood. In this program, we explore the minds of 3 violent psychopaths. We hear chilling eyewitness accounts of a serial killer.
No exact words were, I've just killed 3 people and I want to do some more.
We analyze the personality of an armed robber. Watch a psychopath fresh from a stabbing spree. And lift the mask of charm from an evil sexual predator. We ask, what makes a psychopath become a psycho killer? On the 30th of March 2013, a man's body was discovered in a ditch near Newborough, Cambridgeshire. His name was Kevin Lee. He was 48 years old, a property developer, and bizarrely, he was wearing a dress.
Kevin was laying in the ditch with a black sequin dress pulled up over his hips. I just got a real sense that his body just hadn't been pushed or dropped in that ditch. It had been quite carefully positioned. To me, that wasn't the act of a random killing. It was somebody that knew Kevin. And that's where Joanna Dennehy came into the investigation.
Joanna Dennehy was known to police for petty crime, but they'd never seen the true depths of her disturbed personality. Her killing spree shocked the nation. We can now unravel her story and gain an extraordinary and rare insight into the mind of a psychopath. Joanna lived in one of Kevin Lee's rented properties and worked in his property letting business. Her involvement in the killing came as a shock.
It never occurred to me that it would be a woman until I started to understand the true extent of Joanna Dennehy's place in Kevin Lee's life, because that was the key that unlocked this investigation.
Joanna Dennehy and Kevin Lee were having an affair. It is believed that Joanna asked Kevin to wear a dress so she could rape him while he was wearing it. Instead, she killed him. But Kevin Lee was not her first victim. He was her third. 6 miles away, hidden in a ditch, lay the dead bodies of 2 more men that she murdered in the previous fortnight. Dr. Tony Maiden is one of Britain's leading forensic psychiatrists. The study of serial killers is part of his professional life. Can he unlock the secrets of Joanna's mind?
Joanna Dennehy is a psychopath. She has a severe personality disorder that leads her to commit very serious antisocial behaviour and violence, whilst at the same time having no empathy for her victims and no remorse for what she's done. This is not something that comes and goes. It's a personality disorder. It's part of who she is, and it makes her a very dangerous woman.
But Dennehy's warped mind didn't just stop at cold-blooded murder. She placed one of the men's bodies in a wheelie bin and decided to show it off to a 14-year-old girl she had befriended.
Dennehy lacks empathy for her victims. It's a primary feature of psychopathy, and it means that psychopaths are not restrained from carrying out their crimes by these feelings for other people.
Dennehy's 3 murders were not the end of her bloody excursion. She went on the run, having persuaded her friend Gary Stretch to drive her. This 7-foot 3-inch petty criminal had fallen totally under her spell. To get some cash, they needed to head across country to Hereford to sell some stolen goods. They arranged to meet up with an old friend of Gary's. At the house, the friend's brother, Mark Lloyd, was asked over to see if he could help.
I've knocked on the door. A woman's answered the door. Tattoo right on her cheek. I've been invited in.
Mark was about to become a witness to a psychopathic killer on the rampage. Amazingly, he lived to tell the story.
The first thing I saw was a table just full of iPads, mobile phones, a TV, and I thought, that's the stuff they wanted me to sell. By the time I'm thinking this, Joanna's now walked in, stood right in front of me, and her exact words were, I've just killed 3 people and I want to do some more. And then she pulled the knife out of her bra. It was covered in blood, and there was still skin on the blade. And that's when I thought, we're in trouble now. We're in serious trouble.
Joanna Dennehy doesn't understand other people's emotions. That's a typical psychopathic trait, and it's one of the things that makes a psychopath like her so dangerous.
It's just a casual way she said it. I want my fun, Gary, I want my fun. You've had your fun, now I want my fun. And that's when I really began to get quite scared then.
Mark was desperate to get them out of the house. He suggested they could get their cash by meeting a contact of his at a nearby supermarket.
And my idea was to get him to Tesco's, make my excuses to walk away a bit, and then make the phone call to the police.
But Mark Lloyd would never get his chance to make that call, because Dennehy was now in charge.
Dennehy uses her psychopathic traits automatically to manipulate people. It's second nature to her. She needs to be in control, and the way that she keeps control is by this manipulation of those around her.
The most terrifying bit was when she started flirting with me and caressing me and touching me and telling me that, and telling Gary that this is the man I can have some fun with. Gary, you're not really a real man and all this. And I could see Gary grip the steering wheel. And if he'd have gripped it any harder, he would have snapped it off. And I could see him looking at me in the mirror, and now I'm thinking, well, she likes me, but now you want to kill me. So now I have to keep you happy, Joe, because you're controlling Gary, and if I lose control of Joe, Gary's going to kill me. Without a shadow of a doubt, he would have snapped my neck on the spot. It was like trying to keep 2 chainsaws up in the air at the same time. It was horrible, absolutely horrible.
Dennehy wanted a cigarette. They stopped, and Mark accompanied her into the shop.
I honestly thought she was going to kill that woman and rob the till. That was a scary moment, that was. And when she started flirting with her, I did feel a bit of relief, because she commented, oh, you've got a lovely ass. And I thought, that's okay, Mark, all right, well, that's cool. She's not killing anybody, she hasn't attacked anybody yet. Get her back in the car, give her a cigarette. We've travelled 50, 60 foot, and then she's going to Gary, I want my fun, Gary, I want my fun, find me a victim. No women, no kids, I want a victim, I want a victim.
Dennehy was after more men. Within an hour, 2 would be fighting for their lives. Serial killer Joanna Dennehy murdered 3 men in East Anglia and went on the run from police. She and her companion, Gary Stretch, have driven to Hereford. She was hunting for more victims. Eyewitness accounts get us as close to a psychopathic killer in action as it's possible to be. Because a terrified man, Mark Lloyd, was forced to join their trip of terror.
She said, get me a victim, find me a victim, Gary. I'm like sitting in the back seat going, what the hell is going on here? And I've seen this bloke walking across the road with his dog, and Gary, as calm as a cucumber, has just said, will he do? The second Gary said that, she was out of the car and all over this poor man.
Her target was 63-year-old Robin Bereza, who was walking his dog.